Hey guys, what's up? I know it's been a minute since I last posted, and before we jump into this video, I just wanted to give you an update on what's been going on with this channel, what's been going on with me. So to be super serious, I just want to let you guys know I just pretty much just came out of rehab. Um, for the past while, I've been addicted um, to bubble tea. Yeah, the peach green tea with the black pearls on the bottom. You know, my homegirl put me onto bubble tea, and I suggest if you haven't started drinking it, don't start because you'll probably be in the same situation that I'm in. But anyways, yo, you know what time it is. It's the Milkman. Listen. So in this video, we're going to do something a little bit different. Everyone's been hitting me up asking UofT, Waterloo, which one is better? I can't tell you which one is better. But I got two people who can. I got two students, each who go to one of the universities, and they're going to share their experiences. I'm going to ask some questions based on the comments y'all provided me. So let's find out. Peace! How about you guys introduce yourselves and just give a brief summary on why you decided to go to whatever school you went to. So let's start with Julia. Ladies first.
Okay. So my name is Julia, and I'm in my master's degree at UofT. I did my undergraduate degree there as well in sociology and equity studies. And I decided to go there because I love downtown Toronto, so I knew I wanted to go to a Toronto school. And I figured because it's the best school in Canada, like might as well pick UofT. Also, my sister went there. So it was just kind of easier. It just kind of felt natural to go there. And, you know, the prestige obviously got to me too. But, you know, I liked the campus and it was close to everything downtown. And yeah, that's pretty much why I made that decision.
So yeah, I am still completing my bioinformatics degree in UW. And the reason why I chose Waterloo in the beginning was probably because of the co-op. Like you always hear about the co-op program at Waterloo, and like they get like a lot of the CS students and stuff get jobs in like Silicon Valley and stuff in California. And yeah, it's just like you hear good things about the job prospects for people that graduate from Waterloo as well, like the alumni. So I just want to be part of that whole process. And yeah, and also a lot of my cousins went to Waterloo as well, so they had some good things to say about it.
So let's go with Arshad. So if you could use like a song to describe your experience there, what would it be? Sorry, was that a hard question?
I mean, I gotta think of a song though.
Okay.
Like the music I listen to doesn't really describe Waterloo. That's kind of hard.
Oh, God.
What about a
How
movie?
about
Okay, go ahead.
what's that show? Oh, Silicon Valley.
Silicon
That's
Valley?
probably a good
Okay.
show. That's a good show. I want to compare it to.
Why is that?
I mean, like it's all like technology, right? Like Silicon
Okay.
Valley, the TV show. So I think in that way kind of relates. Also people going out for co-op and stuff, like computer engineers, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I feel like we have to live that life. So.
Okay. And what about you, Julia?
Probably like a sad Drake song.
A sad Drake song?
Some sort of sad Drake song. I don't really know.
Drake
I'm
song,
so
okay.
bad with names. Yeah, I'm bad with names, but any like slow, sad, depressing Drake song, I'd probably use to describe my experience at UofT.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Marvin's Room.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally, yes, Marvin's Room. Okay, it's not to say that I regret going to UofT or that I had a terrible time all the time. Like there's ups and downs to any school you go to, but UofT is quite isolating. It's kind of lonely there because you have to work so hard, so many hours. You're constantly studying and in class and just, you know, working hard. So you don't really have time to go out and party. Like I saw other schools were always at Frosh, or what are those other weeks that you guys do where you party in the streets? What are they called?
Homecoming.
Like all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all that. Like we didn't have that stuff. Like we have it, but no one really goes. There's not like typical football game where everyone goes with like a clique of people. It's not really like that. So it's more just like you, yourself, and I studying, grinding. That's all it really is. And obviously you can join clubs and form a social circle. Like it's possible, but for the most part, you're just working. So, you know, you get kind of lonely just like at the library, studying downtown in like a big city, you know, it's kind of like, yeah.
Okay, and just a disclaimer, you're also in your master's, so it's not
Hmm.
really a bias thing. You decided to go back for another, is it 2 years after your undergrad?
Yeah.
So you did your undergrad
Yep.
and you went for your master's. Okay. So
Hmm.
so this question is going to be for you again, Julia.
Hmm.
UFT like has a reputation for treating its students just like a number. So
Hmm.
their students just a number. So do you agree with that statement? And Arshad, have you experienced that at Waterloo as well? So let's start with Julia.
I would say that if you're communicative and you're proactive and you get in contact with your TAs and profs, they're not going to ignore you. Like you can easily book office hours, you can easily email them and get a response. In terms of the mental health side of it, if you're trying to go to the health and wellness center and get extra support on that end, then you kind of do feel like a number because they don't really have, I don't know, the support system is like really crappy. But I also don't think it's the responsibility for the university to take care of their students. Like it's not a health institution, it's a educational like teaching research institution. So I can see why kids feel like they're treated just like a number because it is very cold and isolating, and because it's so big it's hard for them to cater to that many students. They can only provide so much for each person. Like you're not in a big circle holding hands, but at the same time, like I said, if you reach out, like people aren't going to ignore you or be like rude to you. If you go to your prof and talk to them after class, you can have a really good conversation with them and get the help you need. So I think it's up to the student as well to do their part. So I would say like yes and no depending on the area of the school that you're trying to interact with.
All right. And what about you, Arshad?
Yeah, I mean, I think like when you're like around in first year and stuff, you feel kind of more like that because there's obviously
Yeah.
more people in your stream. So like your classes are bigger, the TAs they have to spend less time interacting with you and stuff. Same with the professors too, right? So I think earlier on, like you might feel that way, but as you go through and get to like higher like upper years and stuff, like you kind of bond a bit more. Well, not really bond, but like you interact more with your professors and stuff. I mean, in terms of like administration and like the university contacting you, I think it's the same thing as what she said. Like, they don't like they're not gonna come after you to like figure out how you're doing. Like if you're feeling a some type of way or something, it's kind of your responsibility to go and like seek the help. I guess like they have had like a bit more like an uptick in like the amount of people that feel like they need more support and stuff in UW. So they've been trying to cater to that. But again, that's also to do with like the suicides that have happened a couple of years at UW. Um, the whole mental health awareness at UW is also increased. So they've kind of helped students a bit more in that regard. Um, but yeah, like it's the same thing I guess with UFT then. Like it's also not like a high school thing where like they're always babysitting you. You have to go because we're all adults here, right? So um
Hmm.
you have to go and figure out like out who to talk to. But the resources are there. So it's not like they don't offer the help. It's just you
Okay.
have to go consult them first.
Okay. And then so this will be for our shot. So like Waterloo is heralded for its co-op, right? Like is
Yeah.
really known for its co-op. So have you or do you know anyone who's ever taken advantage of the co-op experiences that they provide? And Julia, does UFT offer any co-op or maybe any hands-on things as well? So we'll start with our shot.
Yeah, you mean like take advantage like in a good way,
Whatever
like
way.
make the most out of it. Is that what you
Sure.
I yeah, well, I mean, I was in co-op, I finished my co-op, recently, last year actually. Um, but yeah, I made the most out of all my opportunities. I didn't, go out of Waterloo for the most part, except for one time I worked at Grand and Toy, which is like a stationery company. I did like their IT and stuff. And to be honest, if it wasn't for the co-op at Waterloo, I wouldn't be in the trajectory of careers that I'm going in right now because my degree is technically in honors biology, but because I've had mostly IT and networking co-ops, it's set my academic career in more like a CS route, where I'm doing more like so I'm basically doing bioinformatics, which is like CS mixed with biology. But yeah, like they've all been like and each job I've had in co-op, um I've gained more experience for the next job, that they're like, oh, like you did that your last co-op, oh, like we need that for this job.
All right, so it enabled you to diversify like your experiences pretty much.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. All right, cool. And what about yourself?
Well, I was an art student, and art students don't really do co-ops. We kind of just write essays all day. Um, so, but that's not to say that there aren't co-op opportunities. Like, obviously, there's probably in engineering. I hear there's some. Like, I know someone who did civil engineering, and they worked on the 407 for some co-op. And then someone, what did my other friend do? Like international experiences, where you go abroad and you study and you learn like a language and it counts for your courses or something. So there's experiences like that, and I know of them, but I just never did them. I never really looked into them.
Mhm.
But for my master's degree, there are a lot of co-ops. That's why I did this master's in policy studies, because there were a bunch of co-ops. They kind of got ruined because of the pandemic. So the opportunities like totally went down since the pandemic started, but before that, like, things were up and running and there were a lot of things that I saw. So I think U of T, it has a lot of funding, so there is a lot there, but you really have to do your research. I find the one thing with U of T is they like to keep everything a secret. Like, they don't advertise, like the newsletters that they email you are for stupid things that aren't going to help you advance, but then meanwhile there are opportunities that will help, but they don't really email you or update you on those things. So you kind of have to go digging, but I know there's stuff there.
All right, so we're gonna get to the last question because I gotta eat. I really like these. You guys like these or no?
I don't
So
I don't know.
blessed.
I don't really eat those.
You don't eat those cookies? Yo, what's wrong?
No,
Okay.
I eat like other desserts, like cinnamon buns. Anyways, it's irrelevant.
Okay, so the last question. So if you could do it again, would you pick the school that you picked? Let's start with Julia.
Okay. Being downtown Toronto is so nice, but honestly, being brutally honest, I don't think I would pick U of T again. I think I'd pick a really easy school where you could get good grades, because then, like, what matters is where you go to grad school, med school, law school, and then if, let's say, you become, like, you graduate med school, even med school, they say, doesn't matter where you go, it's your residency, that matters. So, like, the higher you go, that's when it matters where you go to school. But undergrad, it doesn't matter where you go. If you have straight A's and you went to a crap school, you're gonna have a better chance of getting into law school or med school than if you have like B's and C's, but you went to U of T. The name doesn't mean as much as everyone thinks it does, to be honest. It's the grades. So I would say if you're trying to get up there, like in med or law, go to an easy school and just get straight A's.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Arshad, last but not least.
Yeah, I probably I probably would go back to Waterloo. But yeah, like, cause the same thing as I said, man, like the co-op experience that like set me in the trajectory that I'm kind of going in now. Like, kind of going into university, I didn't know what I really wanted to do. Like, you know, people were saying, oh, you should be an engineer, oh, you should do this and do that, right? But I kind of want to do something that I wanted to do and that I found was like interesting. But you know, like, it kind of brought out more of my like abilities, like the whole co-op process. You know, doing something that's completely different from my degree. So I don't know if like another university, if their like job system, co-op system would have like brought that out in me and like have diversified, as you said, like my job opportunities like that, you know. So
Got you.
I mean, like, it's worth the sacrifice for like the social stuff.
Mhm.
But you know, you can make the most of it, you know, like coming to Waterloo. Like, you can get involved in the clubs and all this kind of stuff. Like, they've been trying to push more of that stuff. Just so the students aren't like so like closed in. Like, I know like a big thing at UW is like, oh, like I have no social life, oh, it's so hard to get a girlfriend, all this kind of stuff. So it's like yeah, it's like a big thing.
And a boyfriend.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, same thing. Yeah. But yeah, it's like if you get involved, like if you go out looking for like social interaction, like you'll find it. Like, it's not like,
Yeah.
if you're stuck in your room all day long, like, I mean, like, you got a lot of work to do, obviously, as a university student, but it's always good to like balance your life. So I feel
Okay.
like that's, especially for UW kids, that's like really important.
All right. And last but not least, any shout outs? You guys want to shout out someone? I know Arshad, you have like a clothing brand, or is it like a club
Oh
that
yeah,
you started?
yeah. Well, it hasn't been. I mean, it's technically still active. But you know, like I'm gonna graduate soon, so I'm trying to find someone to like take over for me.
Okay.
But it's at UW Hype Club or at UW Hype on Instagram. It's basically a streetwear club I started at UW, just trying to like bring together people that were interested in like streetwear, like people rocking Supreme, all this kind of like streetwear brands and stuff, right? You know, we'd have like photo shoots, we'd have like meetups, like trade like conventions, sneaker conventions, that kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, people that are just interested in streetwear, like come check us out. If you're interested in taking over the club, anybody, like holla at me. Like I'm trying to like give up the reins on that. So.
All right. And I see you're doing your modeling thing too, or is that just?
Oh yeah, you already know. You already know. Yeah. Yeah, that's like it's like one of the clubs at UW actually. Project Trashin.
Okay.
So like anybody can sign up. Like I don't call myself a model or anything like that, but like it's just fun to like put yourself out there, you know. So.
Got you. You're just
yeah.
being
Oh, and shout out
honest.
to my mom. Yeah, shout out to my mom. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
And-
just being modest. Yeah.
And Julia, any shout outs
Um,
or anything
Shout
you're
out?
doing?
Shout out to the UofT gyms, because that's what got me through my 4 years or my 5 years now, is like just working out like crazy to get the stress out. So shout out to UofT gyms. That's it.
And so
Yeah.
now that the gyms are closed, no one gets a shout out, eh?
Yeah, no. Like I said, you only got you, man.
All right, that's perfect.
So yeah.
All right, guys, thank you. That was great. So when I edit it and do everything, I'll let you guys take a look. And that's pretty
Yeah,
much
cool.
it. Hopefully everything was good. So we'll see.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, hopefully.
So thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thanks, man.
All right.
Yeah.
Peace.